Hey guys, in this 3DVista tutorial I'm going to explain you how you can make your own tabs. So a little bit more advanced than the default tabs that's in here. Because eventually when it comes down to it, design-wise it has its limitations when you want to customize this. So I prefer to build my own, and by the way, it also gives you like more creative opportunities to customize things. So let's get started. So I'm going to make it like a pop-up thing, but you can decide if you want it pop-up or not. So I'm going to call this pop-up tabs. And within this pop-up tabs, I'm going to make this not white, but something dark. Let's see, something like this. This looks nice. And on this pop-up screen, I'm going to add another container, which is going to be / pop-up tabs, exactly the same but with 2 slashes, as I like this structure myself. And in this container I'm going to have my top menu and my content. So this is my pop-up menu. And then I'm going to create another container over here, something like this, and I'm going to call this 1, 2, 3 pop up, and then I'm going to call this item 1. And then later on I'm going to copy paste this when everything's set nicely. So let's set everything a bit nicer for now. So the pop-up tabs, this could be something like 80%, 80%, but it's going to be in the center, so that's 10, 10, and this also like 10, 10, something like this. Okay, there we go. Now this pop-up menu is going to be, let's say 15%. I think that's good enough. Make this 85. From the bottom, everything. It seems good so far. So within this pop-up menu, we want to add a few buttons. Let's see. Button. There we go. And I'm going to use my toggle buttons. But you can create this yourself. I mean, you can look back to tutorials about toggles and stuff. Just make sure that the mode is set to toggle and that there is a group name. So in this case, because I already saved it, it makes it menu. Otherwise, type in anything you like as a group. So I'm going to call this button 1. And I'm going to place it somewhere there. Copy paste. Let's see. Button 2. And button 3. Now gotta check because this is something I don't like. And I want these buttons to be white. Let's see, or at least some kind of background. Let's go for white. Oh, font. Okay, so this is a bit tricky. I'm going to do black. It's easier for me now. Black, let's see, like that. This one also black. And this one. Oh, black. There we go. Okay. This sucks a little bit. Well, yeah, let's do this correctly now. Black. Okay, I'm going to do this one and then I'm going to copy paste everything correctly. That's the thing sometimes with working. Let's see, like this. The pressed one should be black as well. There we go. And pressed rollover should also be all black. So now I want to see menu on rollover. It's going to be like this, and on pressed, maybe on pressed I want it to just be slightly different color, something like on pressed I want it to become darker, because I think that's the basic thumb. So I'm going to set these a little bit like this, like 3 3 3 3, and then on pressed it's going to be like this, because the idea is that once you select the button it will stay in that state, because that's the idea with tabs. It shows you where you're currently looking at. Pressed like this, and then the rollover with this. Yes, exactly. This is how I want it. Now I'm going to remove this, so all the settings are perfectly there. Let's see. Something like this, something like that. Now this should maybe be not pixels but percentages, and make this 15. That's a bit too much. 10 seems to be okay. 12. This looks better. 12, and this as well. 12. Now I need to align these nicely. So this is 12%. So from the left this should be 0, and this should be then 12% as well. But just a little bit more, so that there's a little bit of spacing in between. Oh, that's up to you. So then 13 plus 13 is 26. So this should be 26%. Yes, exactly. Okay. Now let's call this button 2 and button 3. Added styles. Let's just double check everything's correct. Yes. Okay, so there we go. Now added styles. I don't like this. Oh, it's this one, which is still having a background. There we go. Okay, maybe this is still a little bit too much as in the width. So I'm going to change this to 12. Maybe 11. Yeah, this is better. So this is 5% less. So this should be 5% more. 90. There we go. Okay. So what we've got so far is this. Button 1, button 2, button 3. But it's not showing anything differently. But you know, you can see that the button state is there. So this is pretty good. Now you can customize the buttons, of course, with your images and stuff like that. But let's make sure that the content is also like relevant. So right now we have to go to PU item 1, and in here, well, for now I'm just going to put in a label so that we know that this container is for button 1. Let's see, like there, content 1, wait, label 1. Okay, and I want this to show as well label 1. Let's make it something like this. Maybe just a bit like this. I don't know. Doesn't really matter too much. You can customize these things, of course. So now I'm going to copy paste and paste it again. So and now this is going to be 2. This is going to be 3. Oh, in this one is there. Now hide this and this. This one is going to be label 2. And this one is going to be label 3. because you know yourself how to change the content within the container, as long as the setup is working. So there we go. There we go. So now we want to say, when you click on button 1, add action, show hide components, on click, pop-up tabs, you want to show PU item 1, show. And on this one, add action, show hide components, PU item 2, done. And here, show hide components, PU item 3. Oh, this should be on click show. I've made this mistake here. Show. Double check. Yeah, this is correct. Well, let's test this out. So, button 1, button 2, button 3, button 2. Hey, what's happening now? So, it doesn't work, you would say. But that's because the container of number 3 is still on top of button 2. So, on these actions, we do not only have to show the containers, but we also have to hide the other containers. That's very important. So, what we have to do is add action, show hide components here, and then say, okay, on click, hide button number 2 and 3. So anything but item 1, basically. Okay, and there we go. Add action, show hide components. This should be 1 and 3, hide. And button 3, show hide components. This should be 1 and 2, hide. There we go. So let's test this out. 2, 1, 2, 1. You see? 2, 3. Haha. So this is very nice and fun. Now we need to close this thing as well, so that you can move on and you can open it again. So let's create a little close button here as well. So, well, close button, click somewhere there. It's within this container, that's good. And let's place this all the way to the right, like 0%, maybe 2%, and from the top 2%. So that there is a little bit of spacing, but I don't really see the spacing. Because 2% from the top is very small. You should better use pixels in this case. Let's say 20 and 20. Yeah, this is quite good. So, add the styles. Like this. I want this to be white. A little bit less. Make this 75 by 75. Check these. Yeah, for now it's good enough. But we gotta add an action to this close button. So button close. Add action. Show hide components. Pop-up tabs. So hide it. Okay. Now, beside hiding it, we also have to show it. So let's click button 1. Let's use that one to show it. Show hide components, pop-up tabs, show. Done. Preview. So button 1, this will open this. And well, as you can see, it's not showing the content. So this should also show the content of button 1. So we have to add a little bit more to this one. Show components. So not only pop-up tabs, but also pop-up item 1. There we go. Preview. Button 1. Button 2. Button 3. Button 1. Close. Button 1. But there's a little but, because when you click it, it doesn't show button 1 as the selected one here. And so you want to have button 1 here selected in this state. So when you click this button. So this is something I've been struggling with a lot, but luckily there's a JavaScript code